Alrighty, guys. What is going on? I'd like to say happy Memorial Day to everybody on this beautiful, gloomy Monday morning. So we were on the live feed with Muffler and Miss Muffler last night. Got to talk to quite a few good people, had some fun conversations. So Muffler, thank you for having that last night. We stayed on probably till about 11:30. I was out here in the shop talking and tinkering around with this. It's a Craftsman 42cc 16-inch chainsaw. I think it is the model kind of behind the S1600 or whatever the new ones is. These are made pretty much identical to the John Cutter. So 42 cc's. Here's the cylinder off of these saws. Little bitty little intake. Little bitty little exhaust. Little bitty little dome top piston. And the muffler is this hunk of junk. Really restricted. And you flip it over inside of it. Maybe you can see it in there. I drilled through it. Yeah, there it is. I drilled through it trying to get some more flow, but it just ain't. Can't get nothing through that crap. So being that it's just like the John Cutter, I went ahead and ordered 45.2 millimeter 5800 piston and cylinder, and also a muffler. It's just a muffler for John Cutter. That's pretty much straight through. No baffles. Had a little wall in there, but took a Dremel and Dremeled it out. Gonna be a big difference, I think. So we already have the piston in. So the piston that comes with these, they're open port. Well, they got windows anyway. They really don't need the windows, but how big a difference that is. So adding these 16 extra cc's ought to be pretty dang awesome. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to snip 20 thousandths off of this thing, stick it back over here, and see what we wind up with. When you're cutting on a lathe like this, just take your time. Don't get in a rush. Looks pretty good. Go ahead and dial it in another 10,000. Alright, here we go. I think this mandrel was about a half a millimeter too small, so a little bit of black tape works some charms. I'm gonna stop the video for a second and move back over to the saw. You can look at this one and already tell how big the intake port is, how much bigger the exhaust port is, and we got two big transfers versus them little bitty little quads. The quad transfers are better, but when they're that small, you don't really get a lot out of them. Alright, please forgive me for taking y'all at the stand and the moving around, but we got a couple semi-issues we ran into doing this, and I just want to share it. With the 58cc cylinder, you end up with about 120,000 squish. So the 42 either has a shorter stroke or the base, the deck of the case is way different. Something's different. What we ended up having to do, we ended up taking 70 thousandths off of the base of the 58cc cylinder. Whole lot of metal taken off. Now we still don't freeport. We're not having any freeport issues right now. The only issue I'm seeing currently, to where you have the tongue for the rings, why does everything want to get in the dang way? The bottom ring, see it right there, with the 70 thousandths off, the bottom ring just, I mean, barely clears that little tongue. Now, it's got two rings. So you can take that bottom ring out. Eliminate it, just run the top ring. I'm going to chance it. Because I can. And it's mine. If it blows up, it just blows up. I mean, it is what it is. Squish, we got it coming in right about 35 thousandths right now with the gasket. But I think this right here will be fine. For starters, the start of a build, I think this is going to be okay. So we're going to try it. I'm going to go ahead now, and we're going to start bolting this thing back together. I wouldn't advise anybody else to do this, just because I don't know if it'll work. I'm pretty positive that it will work, but I would rather test it out for myself. myself before I go telling anybody else this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now, if it does work, you got one badass 42cc upgraded John cutter. So yeah, it's gonna be somewhere. I'm gonna bank probably on somewhere around 56 cc's. So you're looking at a 14cc increase just by swapping the piston and cylinder and doing a little bit of machine work. I'm leaving everything stock, transfers, and just whatever the machine work change, the port timing, that's all we're gonna be going with, and we'll see how it does. I figured I'd bring y'all in here to show y'all how this intake setup goes together. So once you get the boot on, you got this little partition wall you put in. Then you get this little gasket. And then you get this flange. And this flange is a doozy too. Roll this in. You can kind of push and twist. Kind of try to roll this gasket in. Not tearing nothing up. Make sure that rubber seats in its little home place. And then you want to get this little brass metal ring. That's to keep the boot from sucking itself together when it's under vacuum. You get your throttle linkage back in. Now just roll it and let it pop. Top line there's your impulse. Go ahead and hook your fuel line back up as well. Make sure the line isn't collapsed. Then you want to get your intake horn, air horn, whatever you want to call it. Make sure all your functions work. Slip your choke rod back in, little grommet that's on this little cutout. And it's the exact same way with the John cutter as well. And this little piece slides right there. Alright, all that seems to work. Alright, I'll be back when we get it together. Well guys, here she is. I have not tried to crank it. The Craftsman 16-inch, we'll call it the 4258. It's got the stock bar and chain off of the Echo 4910 on it. The only bar, I got one more bar that will run on it, but I got that on another saw. Looks good with that dang muffler on it too. Way better than that dag blasted catted up stuff. Man, I really hope this works. Now these use a Pac-Man tuning wrench. You can get those off the pack on Amazon. Alright. Let's see what happens. Okay, alright. Well, by God, we got something to work with now, boys. Man, I'm excited. I think we're going to have a little bit of an air leak somewhere around this intake. I'm going to go in and tighten everything up a little bit. But, holy cow, it feels very nice, man, when it comes up on the revs. It feels very nice. These, they got this kind of air filter set up. It's a gasket that goes here. It's in the filter. So you kind of got to pull all that out, take a top cover off to get to it. But I think we're going to be able to make this work. I surely do believe we're going to make this work. And that's going to be awesome. All in all, we're going to make this thing work. Hope you guys like this. Y'all come back, follow this thing for some more action. Have a great day. Dubs, we out.